Welcome. My name is Kelly.
And my name is Brynn. And this is Fanimated,
an animation fan podcast where we get a chance to geek out about our favorite animated media. And I have to say, Brynn, I think that was the best time that I've ever done an in-sync Zoom call intro with anyone.
Really? Because I was way ahead of you on my line. So I think last time we were in sync on my end, and this time we're in sync on your end. It's great.
Well, I think it sounded great, and guess what?
That's all that matters.
It's all that matters, and
it's your podcast.
And if you're listening to this on the show, I have edited it to make it sound great and in sync. So.
The magic of editing.
Yes, and we just got off recording our Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beasts episode, which was so much fun. We had so much to say. I mean, this show is absolutely fantastic.
It's phenomenal.
So go listen to that episode and then go watch the show because...
Or vice versa.
Oh, yeah, maybe you want to watch the show
whatever.
first because spoilers.
But it's definitely a show worth watching.
Absolutely.
For so many different reasons.
So many. Thankfully, in our Whatcha Watching episodes, you don't have to worry about spoilers. This is our spoiler-free casual talk about what we've been watching recently, what we would recommend, just geeking out about random animation stuff. And to start off, usually I've got some things to say, and so I'm going to say them. I was going to say I don't have anything to say this time, but actually I do, and I forgot about them. You can support us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/fanimated to vote for upcoming episodes, hear bonus content, and all sorts of other fun, cool things. So check that out. And thank you to Aaron, a new patron. Thank you for joining us on the Fanimated crew. And I can't wait to see what you vote for in the next poll. So if you want to be cool like Aaron, you got to go support on Patreon.
Aaron is so cool.
Like probably the
coolest.
Yeah.
Like cooler than Minnesota, and that's saying something because we get to negative degrees here often. So well done, Aaron.
Well done. So yeah, let's just get into it. Brynn, what have you been watching recently?
Okay, so I have a shout out to all of my sixth graders at my middle school. I am a middle school art teacher, and my sixth graders are awesome. I got called a weeb twice on opening week, and I could not be prouder. I could not be prouder to be called a weeb by sixth graders. So shout out to all of my sixth graders. I love you all, and I'm so excited for this year. A lot of them are just chatting away about anime on the chat while I'm teaching, which, in person is not great, but in distance learning, whatever. So, and they come to my office hours and such, and we hang out, and it's awesome. And so one of them suggested Tokyo Ghoul.
Oh my goodness.
Actually, there were several that suggested Tokyo Ghoul. To be middle schoolers and be watching things that you probably shouldn't. And so, I watched Tokyo Ghoul. I'm like, oh, well, this is bloody. It's also cool. So I absolutely got into it. I binged the first season and some change. So basically, Tokyo and the world is split into humans and ghouls now, and ghouls feast on human flesh. And so it's kind of like vampires, but gorier, if you can actually manage that.
Okay.
And so it's very visceral. And our protagonist has gotten the organs of a ghoul transplanted into him. So he himself is becoming a ghoul because of the organs that were transplanted from a ghoul, and has to learn how to live that lifestyle. And pretty heavy content warning for that one.
Yeah.
If you are young, don't do it. I know some of my sixth graders like it, and if you are not one of those sixth graders, I can recommend so many other animes to you. So, I love Full Metal Alchemist, so it's probably gorier than Full Metal Alchemist, but it's in that genre of my arm and my leg and some of my toes. You know.
Yeah. What is it about Tokyo Ghoul that has like raptured your attention? What makes it different than other anime, you know?
I always like seeing the different cultures that they create out of creatures and out of different societies. And I would say it has a lot of interesting moral quandaries. So how do I stay alive without, you know, killing people, or do I stay alive? And coming from a human point of view to a ghoul point of view, and seeing how ghouls range from very moral and very ethical to not, is really interesting, I think. And I kind of want to see, I'm more drawn to see how ghouls can be ethical than seeing how ghouls can be unethical. Because the ones who go on crazy binges and the ones who go killing everybody, they're whatever, you know, it's a horror flick, whatever. But it's the ghouls that are learning to live, or have learned to live innocently and without killing people, that super interests me, you know? And so it's getting a little bit into that, like, moral gray area / there's a good side and a bad side to every community, and things like that. I'm pretty interested in that side of it.
Cool.
So,
very cool.
Yeah.
Definitely have to check it out. So what else have you been watching?
Inuyasha. I'm still I still have that as my background music.
Yes.
And of course, Inuyasha is one of my first anime loves. Any of my 6th graders who are listening, go watch Inuyasha. It is just so good. And for me, because I've watched it so many times, I can just kind of put it in the background and forget about it.
It's like a good comfort food anime for you.
It really is.
Yeah.
And then there was one other that I was watching. I mean, Kipo, of course.
Yes.
I have forgot. Oh, Trigun. Update on Trigun.
Yeah.
When I said that he was just a bumbling fool, apparently I lied. That's all I get to say. And it gets super good and super intense, and I super recommend it.
I definitely have it on my list. You've been talking to me about it all the time. Trigun is one of those classics, I think, that I just haven't gotten around to yet. So I'll definitely keep it on the list.
Yeah, and again, the main character has every reason to be an edgelord and yet isn't, and I find that really refreshing.
Yes.
So, highly suggest. That's what I'm watching. What about you? What you watching?
I, as always, am got my toes in so many different bowls of pudding. I don't know where that analogy was going.
Bowls of spaghetti? Like, you have
got
some
my
of your
fingers
toes in spaghetti and some of them in gummy worms? Like, where?
Instead of fingers and pies, I went to toes and something else. So
toes and spaghetti.
Toes and spaghetti. I've got my toes in many different bowls of spaghetti.
There's a ravioli. There's a fettuccine. There's even a lasagna somewhere in there.
I'm all over the place. Oh man, different sauces, and we're getting way out of control here.
Apparently, tonight's the night for it.
Oh man, when are we ever in control? That's the real question. All joking aside, one show that I did not get to mention last week is Tower of God, the Crunchyroll original series based off of a webtoon comic.
I've seen this one.
It is absolutely fantastic, not only because it is opening a new door into what is anime and how we define it, because it is an online webcomic, a Korean webcomic, and that's been turned into a Japanese animation that is produced by a Western Crunchyroll platform. So it is a lot of things. And so there's the fact that, it's starting this trend of these Crunchyroll originals, which now there's also The God of High School, which I still need to watch. But Tower of God basic premise is it's very unclear. There's still a lot we don't know, but basically there's this tower. If you reach the top of the tower, you get a wish. You get to be like a god. And so everyone's trying to climb the tower, and yet the tower is all that exists. The tower is the world, and the tower is where people live. And if you get to climb the tower, you've been chosen to partake in all of these tests and trials to get to the top. It is very Hunter Hunter-esque. You're going like at the Hunter Hunter like exam arc, at the beginning. That's very much like
I was
that.
thinking it's kind of like Sword Art Online in that going up the tower a little bit.
Except that it is not about it, like Sword Art Online is very like these are towns and villages and you live there.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
This is much more like even Hunger Games-esque. Like you are in a test, and then once you're done with that test, you are treated luxuriously. Like they like in between trials, they're like all hanging out together and like almost like in this hotel type thing. And so Bomb is from outside the tower, and we still don't know really that much about him or how he was outside the tower in the first place.
Isn't he the chosen one, kind of?
He's the chosen one. He's the chosen one character, and his whole purpose for going into the tower is to follow Rachel. And Rachel was again, we still don't know much about Rachel, but Rachel ended up befriending him outside the tower, and he was alone, and then he had Rachel, and Rachel is everything to him, and hey, that's it, right? but this is only season 1, and let me just tell you right now, season 1 is basically a prequel to the rest of the story, in my opinion. It is absolutely insane. It's beautiful. The style, I love the animation style so much. And there are these other great characters. I mean, it's full of great characters, and you get to learn more about the society that's in the tower. And
nice.
Kun is my favorite. He is from a very privileged family, but then that he gets like kind of discarded, and he's climbing the tower. He is the mastermind. Like he is the leader. He is the I'm gonna play this game. Like he plays it well, and and just the things that they do is always like they just pulled the rug out from under me every episode, like because these crazy things are happening. I am so fully intrigued into this world and these characters, and I am very tempted to read all 400 some chapters of the web comic just so that I know what's going on.
Jeez. Well, all right. Do it.
We'll see what happens. But I highly, highly recommend Tower of God.
With all of your copious spare time, right?
Right. Especially this month when I'm doing 2 episodes a week.
Twitch.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine.
I do it for you, the listeners. Thank you. And then I also want to mention really quick another anime that I've been following along with this season. First season is not quite done yet. Is Millionaire Detective Balance Unlimited. It is a very Sherlock-esque show with a very interesting Watson-Sherlock pairing, except instead of being just a super smart, like full of himself guy, he's a super rich, full of himself guy. And it's so fun though, because these 2 detectives like are just the greatest pairing, and then Millionaire Detective basically pays for everything, and he'll like do crazy stuff, and he basically has like a Jarvis in his head, like that he can talk to and be like, follow this truck on the security cameras or whatever, and then he can do all this crazy stuff. So it's just ridiculous and insane, and I love it.
He's Tony Stark but stupid.
Yes, That's exactly it. Like, he's so stupid. There's one episode where he like runs away from home, kind of, and leaves his phone, his Jarvis, and he doesn't have anything, and he runs into the other detective and ends up having to stay the night, and he doesn't understand anything about normal living. Like, he doesn't get it. He can't do anything on his own. It's hilarious.
Job. I've read about them.
Job. No, that's the thing, is why is this millionaire coming to be a detective in the police department? Like,
yeah.
And they answer that question, and he's actually doing some other stuff, and he's like got this whole backstory that's unraveling.
Is it really good?
And it's so good. Oh my goodness. It's like it starts out as this fun little like team duo crazy stuff, and then it just gets deeper and deeper and crazier and crazier. And I'm very much looking forward to the rest of the season.
Neat.
So that's it. That's what I'm watching. I mean, obviously not but that's
there's always more.
There's always more, but that's what I'm talking about now. That's what I've got. That's what I've got to offer.
Awesome. Yay! And what you have to offer is so good.
Aw, thanks. A side note, I want to mention I've rewatched the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity trailer about 5 million times already.
Good.
Dissected
Excellent.
that for all it's worth, and I'm looking forward to that as well.
Kelly, have you done one on Animal Crossing yet?
I have not, and here's the thing: I have not played Animal Crossing. I know,
gotcha.
I'm one of those rare people who owns a Nintendo Switch in the year 2020 and does not play Animal Crossing.
Oh wow! Actually, I also want to put in a bid for Ring Fit.
Also, not one that I own.
It's animated, so whatever. It's a video game, but
it counts.
I have been playing so much Ring Fit recently. It is basically a better Wii Fit. One of the controllers goes on a ring that it can tell how much you're pushing in on the ring or pulling out, or like where it is in space and time, and then one on a leg holster. And it's an RPG. You go through an RPG, and it's a turn-based battle system where you do like reps in order to deal damage to monsters. And I have to tell you, it's been a saving grace for me during quarantine, honestly, and it's really hard to find, but I have really enjoyed it and would love to, if you ever get a Ring Fit, Kelly, I would love to talk Ring Fit with you, because it's so fun and it's very conscious of where people are at. Mm-hmm. So it has different levels, and it kind of asks you at the beginning of each day, like, hey, how was yesterday? Do you want to go a little easier? Do you want to go a lot easier? Do you want to keep it where it is? Do you want to go a little harder? And it raises or lowers the difficulty for you per day. And it says, like, even has like a little, hey, you've worked really hard today. Do you want to rest so that you can come back tomorrow refreshed? So usually I've tried ignoring that a couple times, and it was a bad idea. So usually when it's like, hey, you've done like this many minutes, let's head out.
Yeah.
I take the hint.
Good.
But it's made me feel more powerful, and it's given me a really good motivation to get up and go do it each day, because of the not each day, but like, because it's an RPG. It's great.
Right. It's still a game, and it's fun.
Yeah, actually, though. Like, I know they've tried doing Wii Fit and different things, and there was the balance board and such, but I think they've really hit their stride with this one.
Yeah. That's awesome. Anything to get us moving, right?
Right. Besides maybe playing Mortal Kombat with DDR pads. I watched a video of somebody Lowell sent me a video of somebody, I think, who had beaten Kingdom Hearts with a DDR pad.
I love that. That's amazing.
Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, I believe, with a DDR pad.
Would that take 5 million years? Yes.
Probably. Apparently the battles were fairly easy, but navigating was super difficult.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like,
yeah.
That's a workout right there. Gosh. Well, that's what we've been watching. You can let us know what you have been up to. What have you been watching? We love recommendations. You can reach us at Fanimated Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. You can email us at fanimatedpodcast@gmail.com. The music is provided by Purple Planet Music. The art done by myself. You can find me on Instagram at Canderdraw, KANDERDRAW. It's almost Linktober, so get ready for some Zelda fan art if you follow my art Instagram. Thank you, Brynn, for joining us.
Thanks for having me. All right.
So, as always, you do it.
Sorry.
You do it.
And as always, Black Lives Matter.
And stay tuned.
And stay animated. Did I even introduce myself last time?
I don't think.
I don't think we did. They should know my voice by now.
It'll be in the intro and in the description.
Okay.
I always put that there. Oh,
okay.
dear.